Hey guys, it's Tiff, and I'm here to share with y'all the refeeding process ever since I broke my fast on May 21st. It is now May 31st, so I've been refeeding for approximately 10 days, and it's going great. It's going wonderfully, but I just want to share with you my experience. So, first, I started, like I told you guys before, I started out with the melons and eating watermelon every 2.5 hours. So it was like 2 ounces every 2.5 hours. I my watermelon's spoiled because it's really hard to cut open watermelon and store it properly. So it's spoiled and it got certain parts got mushy. So I began eating high content water vegetables. So like kale, lettuce, spinach is like I know is like 98% water. So I wanted to eat a lot of high water content raw vegetables. And I did that for the first 4 or 5 days. After the fifth day, I I noticed that my digestive system wasn't it didn't wake up. I wasn't using the bathroom. Very minimally using the bathroom. And so I asked for some help from I call her my human guide, and I asked help from my spirit guides, and I went into meditation, and collectively we activated my digestive system. So after we activated it, which is very common because you have to realize that post fast constipation is common because, especially on an extended fast, is because your digestive system is not used to working anymore. Um, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but generally it takes 21 days to build a habit. I put my body in a habitual state where it was used to being on a break. Digestion was zilch. I didn't have a reason to do digestion, to digest anything because I was fasting. So I once we did that, we did the meditation collectively. It was a little later that day that I made my first good bowel movement. But even though it was a good bowel movement, it wasn't great, especially having been on a fast and especially having not went ever since I think day 3 or 4 of my fast. So I ran into this young lady which was odd because I never really spoke to her. I think it was on me because I was kind of cranky at my son's bus stop. I didn't speak to anyone. On the 21-day fast, I was very, very antisocial. And I think it's because it wasn't because I was in a bad mood, but it was more because I was inside myself and observing myself. I didn't have time for the outside world. So once I did that, I I I spoke to her and she was telling me about Mag 07. She reminded me about Mag 07, which is basically a tablet that you take with magnesium, and I think it's just pure oxygen. And what it does is if you take a couple pills and it runs through your system by pushing oxygen through your intestines. And boy, that made me go. So that was that was what started my regulation, and it was great. I only had to take it. I think I took it twice because I just wanted to clear it out. There go that damn annoying dog that I told y'all about. But I wanted to clear it out, and everything was great. Everything worked great, went great. But then I noticed on day 6 is when I ate my first meal, and my meal plan, not my meal plan, but what I'm eating, I'm sharing on my Facebook page and my Instagram page, which I'm gonna leave the links in the comments for you guys this time. So if you want to follow that, what I'm eating, then you can. Instagram and Facebook. So after I noticed I began eating cooked food, my first cooked meal was zoodles, zucchini noodles, and I sauteed that with some onions and green peppers and red peppers and yellow peppers, and it was so delicious. And I put very little seasoning on it because my taste buds were so sensitive that everything just tastes so robust to me. Everything was just so fresh and just was great. But then I noticed, and I had an awareness about it, but then I noticed my weight was increasing again. And mind you, I'm only eating about maybe 600 calories a day. And that's not because I'm trying to starve myself. It's because I'm eating when I'm hungry and I'm stopping when I'm satisfied. So if I get satisfied into the 3 bites in, 4 bites in, I'm stopping because my body simply doesn't need anymore. I don't want to overwork my body. I respect my body, and that's why I did this fast, to create a bond with my body. But then I realized it was in my common sense to know that I didn't have any seasonings, any salt, anything in my system. So water retention is very common. And so I retained some water and I gained back some weight. So I started off at 157. I went down to 134. And now I was, at the time when I was checking my weight, I think it was maybe day 7, I was at 140. And I panicked because I'm like, what the hell did I do all this work for just to gain back 6 pounds in 6 days? I'm gaining a pound a day. But then I had to realize that my body has been fasting. And my body probably thought that I was in famine or a drought or something. So when I finally did start refeeding, it was holding on to every ounce of fat that it could get to prepare me for the next starvation process that my body thought that I may be in. It went into panic mode, like, oh, we have to stop working. We have to store some things. We have to make this woman live. So that was an awareness of mine. And also another awareness of mine was my addiction to numbers. Because even though I gained 6 pounds, I still felt great. I still looked great. I was still fitting my post-fast clothing, which I didn't fit during my pre-fast. And also I was, everything was going great. Everything was going well. But it was the number that discouraged me. And when I did that, when I collected that awareness in a meditation after I came out, I was like, oh shit, I might be actually obsessed with numbers. And that is exactly what I don't want, because now me and my body are like this. When I was feeling good, looking good, and the only thing the only thing that changed was the scale number, but nothing changed about how I felt, nothing changed about how I look or how I fit my clothes. And so I did some research and I found out that when fasting, if you break it right and if you eat right, because I'm only eating vegan meals. I think one time I had a vegetarian meal, and that's because I made this vegetable dip that had some sour cream in it. But predominantly vegan except for one meal, maybe two. But predominantly vegan except for one meal. And then I realized that when I did my research, that the weight that you lose when you're fasting isn't the weight that you gain when you're refeeding. Because if you're eating right, your body produces 2 types of tissues based on what you put in your body. So there's white adipose tissue, and then it's brown adipose tissue. White adipose tissue is that clumpy, lumpy tissue, fat that you see when you cook your meat. It's that bulging out fat that you just got to pull off and clean off when you're cooking your meat. And then the brown adipose tissue is the tissue that is capable of heating up and burning 5 times as more calories as the white adipose tissue. I'm not sure why. I believe the reason why, from what I read, is it's rich in rich oils, where adipose tissue is more, it's like soluble versus insoluble, and the white adipose tissue is the one mixed with a lot of fat, so you get that bulge when you gain weight from eating the wrong foods. But if you eat the right foods, then you keep your shape. And not only do you keep your shape, but you burn fat a lot quicker, which is what you want. So the weight that I was losing was not the weight that I'm gaining. On top of that, our necks and our chests contain the most adipose tissue. And the reason why we know this is because when we gain weight, when most of us gain weight, our necks stay slim and our chest stays slim. It doesn't bulge out. We usually keep the shape here or there, and that's how it is. So, and that's where I know when I gained weight, when I was 157 pounds, and now that I'm 134, my neck hasn't changed much in its size. Because I guess that's where all the adipose tissue, or the brown adipose tissue, so that's the good tissue, that's the tissue that we want. So then I also noticed that like I said, my body probably thought I was in famine, so it was holding on to every ounce of fat. Now, my eating schedule is predominantly vegetables, seldom fruit, but predominantly vegetables, and It's a lot of kale salads, cooked kale salads mixed with a lot of other vegetables. Right now, I'm making some cabbage soup. I'll share that on my page. If you go to the link, you'll see that as well. And also, um, now my eating schedule. Sorry, I'm off track. It's this damn bug flying around me. But my eating schedule is. I told you guys that I was gonna fast every other day. That is not. That's not. It wouldn't make sense for me to fast every other day because I eat between 2 and 6 every day, which is my eating window. So I do intermittent fasting, and between 2 and 6 is my window of opportunity to eat. Between 2 and 6, number one, I'm not hungry. Even sometimes after 2, I'm not hungry. So I just put a little bit in my system. Like today, I had some, like an avocado spread, chickpea tuna salad, vegetable wrap, and that's all I had. And I'm not hungry. So what I'll have next is I'm making some cabbage salad, like I said before. But now that I have this schedule, I realize that I don't eat enough during the day to not eat the next day. And I'm not trying to slow my metabolism down by starving myself. That's not my intent. My intent is to eat when I'm hungry, stop when I'm satisfied, create a window where I can eat, and stop a window. 4 hours is significant. It's a significant time. I eat late enough to not be tempted during the night, and I'm not tempted anyway. But even in that window, I can't eat any more than my body doesn't allow me, listening to it, to eat any more than between 700 and 800 calories. That's my average on a daily basis. I'm not starving myself. And now I am beginning to lose weight again. Like before, I told you guys my weight was 141. I had gained the weight. Now that my body is used to what I'm doing and it's understanding what I'm doing, we have a bond. Now I'm losing weight, and now I'm back down to 138. And that's what's going to happen. I'm going to lose weight very, very slowly. And then as I'm losing weight, it's going to be probably a little percentage of fat on a daily basis because I do work out. I get at least 40 minutes of cardio in a day. And so once I do that, we're going to have an understanding, and it's going to turn into maintaining weight because I'm not going to need any more than 800 calories a day. So that is my fasting refeeding process. That has been my experience. And I just want you guys to know that I'm still here. I'm still with you. I'm going to be making videos, some motivation videos, not always going to be about fasting, but I do understand how my YouTube channel started, and I want to incorporate that, whether it's my diet. Again, you can go to my Facebook page, my Instagram page. The links are all going to be in my bio. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Sorry for babbling and losing track. I'm not very good at multitasking, and there are a lot of bugs, and that annoying ass dog is here. But I'm doing great. I'm feeling great. Love you guys. Love and light. Later.